All right, we are here finally, day 5. You've been through the journey. You got your offer ready to go. And we are going to just go from the what now phase. You have this offer. What now? What now? So I talked about, heart in your offer and make sure that it's aligned with your heart. And we have Nancy Juetten here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me as your guest today.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And I'm just gonna, yeah, this is gonna be great. I'm so excited to have her on here, and it's been a long journey, Nancy. I think people are resonating with having their offer, having something that's going to be tangible, something that that's going to really resonate and make an impact. Thus, the impact offer challenge, an impact not only for the clients that they want to serve, but the people that for themselves, right? Most importantly, for themselves. So I'm excited to have you jump on here, and this is going to be great. I know that Nancy is just the coolest person. She's the coolest person, and she's a hard worker. Let me tell you something. She's a hard worker. She's on there doing her lives, and she is like the model for just like being on top of it, nonstop. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't care. She's going to be there. You're going to see her face regardless. You're going to see her face giving you amazing content, great stories, and I'm just excited to have her on here. So this is great, Nancy.
Well, I'm happy to be here. And this whole idea of loving your offer, I have so many stories to tell from my own experience over 20 years as a business owner that can bring into focus why this is really important, especially if you want to have more success with greater ease and touch and transform more lives. And when you want those kinds of outcomes, you have to bring something to market to your ideal client that not only is it in your wheelhouse to deliver the value, but your ideal clients are suffering from that problem and they resonate with the way that you teach so that they are willing to invest meaningfully to get the benefit or the relief. And when you get that level of clarity around who you're here to serve, what you're here to offer them, and that thing that you do that nobody does better, you can't stop your confidence from shining bright from every word you speak, for every story that you tell. It builds a bridge of trust so that those who are interested in getting that problem solved can feel confident investing in you.
Awesome. So I'm going to let you take the floor and go with this, loving what you're offering. And if there's any other things where you can help them with any type of mistakes that they might want to avoid as they go through this journey, I'm going to let you have it. If you're ready to go, I'm going to give you the full front and center. All right, Nancy?
All right. Well, thank you very much. Let's sort of wing it and make it awesome for you so that the next 20 minutes that we spend together is the best 20 minutes you've spent all day.
Awesome. Here we go.
So you're probably thinking, like, who's Nancy Juetten anyway? And I am an Amazon #1 best-selling author. I am the leader of the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group that is comprised of 2,100 podcast guests, experts, authors, and service professionals who are serious about raising their voice and making their impact. And I also lead the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp, which is my signature program. It's my tuition-based offer that teaches people how to book themselves on all the right shows on a do-it-yourself basis without hiring an expensive booking agency. So I've been at my business for over 20 years. I have had moments where I've been generating multiple 6 figures in my business consistently. I have also had moments in my life when life hit the fan and I was derailed for a bit. And now I'm right back at it again. So one of the most important lessons I could share with you is that success is not a straight line. Sometimes life does get in the way. But if you get back to the mission that you are fighting for and what makes you special, different, and preferred, your own light will shine even brighter, and you'll find an audience of people who can't wait to benefit from how you help. That's really the flag that I'm waving here. Now, Bryan has been saying you got to have an offer that you love. And I want to ask you, has it ever happened? You were sitting at the feet of the wisdom of some guru, and they laid out a plan as to how you could get to 6 figures fast, or how you could get to 7 figures fast. And as you were looking at the model that they were outlining for you, you were thinking to yourself, well, if that's the path, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to go kicking and screaming every step of the way. If you ever have that reaction of going kicking and screaming every step of the way, is it any wonder that no matter what it is, the path that has been laid out before you, that you are stumbling and bumbling along and not feeling great about what you're up to, and not having the great results at the bottom line that you want to celebrate? I too have had that moment where someone portrayed that you need to do a 3-day live event, and you need to have the coffee hot, and you need to have the structure of the event go in a certain way. And then on this point, on the second day, you're going to make this amazing offer, and everybody's going to rush to the credit card. And then on Sunday, you're going to have a breakfast, and everybody's going to celebrate. And all the people that missed out are going to press their nose against the glass, and they're going to say, oh, shoot, I'm a loser. I didn't say yes. I have been told that model again and again and again, amen. And every single time it's been presented to me, I have wanted to run in the opposite direction, because it is just not my thing to hold court for 3 days in some fancy pants hotel and entertain and inspire 1 hour after the next, after the next, after the next. I'm an introvert. Doing something like that would be the kiss of death for me. And so I have never pursued that path, because I knew in my heart and my head and my gut that it was the wrong path for me. Whatever it is that the path is that you have been told to follow, what I want you to think about and consider is, are you excited about that path? Is that approach going to align with what you are brilliant at and that you can't wait to do? And do you love what you're offering so much that the confidence you have around that offer is so powerful that wild horses couldn't stop you from sharing it with people? I think those are really, really important things to consider. So let's talk about some of the biggest mistakes that you can make when you're creating your offer. And believe me, I've made them all. Does anyone willing to confess that they started with a low ticket offer and overstayed their welcome in low ticket land? If that's you, give yourself a pat on the back for proving to yourself that you can bring a low ticket offer to the marketplace and have people buy it. It does take a lot of skill to create something that people want to buy. And when the exchange of value is made, you have a sale and the client has a solution. The trouble with overstaying your welcome in low ticket land is it's really hard to create that sustainable income that you require in order to meet the desires you have for your own life. It's great to have a low ticket offer, but don't let that be your flagship offer. Let that be something that you can downsell to people who love you and what it is that you do, but for whatever reason cannot say yes to your premier offer. Another big challenge or problem that people run into when they are creating their offers is they are failing to apply a fair tuition to the offer so the exchange of value can be fair. You think to yourself, well, if I offer it at a low price and I go above and beyond the call to serve, I'm going to create champions, advocates, and ambassadors so that I can get to do this again and again with more people. But the fallacy there is that if you are delivering far more in value than you are receiving in terms of tuition, you may feel resentment right out of the gate. Why am I giving away so much value in exchange for so little reward? My invitation is for you to consider how you can make the exchange of value fair. So when you get out of bed in the morning, you're getting out of bed with enthusiasm on the sunny side of the bed, and you're saying to yourself, I can't wait to lead this training, teach this course, mentor these clients, provide these services, because I know that for the value and the brilliance that you are going to provide, you're going to be rewarded fairly for it. Another big mistake people make along the path to creating offers that they love is they forget to consider that only the right fit clients should come behind the velvet rope to get to participate. If you have ever led a course where someone was behind the velvet rope who didn't belong, you probably know what that can be like. These clients can be needy, they can be demanding, they can bring negative energy to the group and bring the energy of the group down instead of lifting it up. They can make extraordinary demands with regard to customer service and private coaching, whether or not it's included in the program or not. And that can really steal your energy and suck your soul dry. So if you have not made clear who your program is for and who your program is not for, I want you to spend some time really living in that space. In my own experience, I have had situations where the wrong people snuck under the velvet rope to bring the energy down and to steal my soul. And while I'm in that moment with those clients, I'm going above and beyond the call to make sure that I'm making good on the commitments that I've made, that I'm seeing, hearing, and honoring the concerns that are raised, and going the extra mile to see if I can make it work. But if after all those Herculean efforts, I cannot make it work, I have to let that client go. And what I also have to do is I have to acknowledge to myself, what did I learn from that experience that I am not going to allow happen again? And how that expresses itself is the next time I get to make an invitation. The next time I get to make an invitation, I could say something like, if you are a dabbler, if you are someone who puts your first toe in but doesn't bring the rest of your body into the pool to go all in on the training, if you're someone who's jaded about bad experiences and wants to create a subsequent bad experience, not only for yourself, but for your host, run and don't walk in the opposite direction, because my program is not for you. My program is for someone who is a no excuses, get it done rock star who wants the end result to the point that they would walk through fire to get to the end result, and that you know you can't do it alone and you need a co-pilot by your side. That's me. If you have participated in these trainings 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 days, one right after the other, you know whether I'm your teacher, and you also know if I'm not. If you're in the no column, it's been a pleasure to have you. But if you're in the yes column, come on board, jump all in, be all in, and I'll be right there to meet you. What I just did there is I demonstrated that I don't want people coming into my program that don't belong. And what I'm trying to model for you is for you to get clear on this idea for yourself as well. So now I want to tell you a story. Maybe 20 years ago, when I was first starting my business, the idea that I had was, I need more clients. I need more clients. I'll take anyone with a pulse. I need more clients. Is there anybody willing to confess that you've had that request? I hope that I see some hands raised or some comments in the chat. So I remember we were camping with a neighbor, and he was a very successful financial advisor. And he was many decades older than me and wiser than me, and had, the reps of experience behind him. And I remember saying to him, sometimes people ask to work with me, and for whatever reason, I don't think that they're the right person for me, even though I may need the money. What do you do in situations like that? And he laughed at me, and he took a pause, and he said, not everyone gets to come in. When someone says, how soon can we work together? Or asks if they qualify to get behind the velvet rope, he says with a complete straight face, Bob or Mary, calling them by name, he says, I'm so glad that you want to come in and be one of our clients. The new business development committee is meeting next week to see who gets to come in, and I will get back to you. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, what moxie, what confidence. This was 20 years ago, and I couldn't even imagine that someone would say something like that. But get 20 years of experience under your belt, and you realize that not everyone who has a pulse belongs in your program. It's just that simple. So ask yourself and really go deep. Who is it for? And who is it not for? And what kind of conviction can you bring to your invitation so that the right people jump in, all in, and invest in full? And the wrong people say, thanks for the free training. I got a lot of value. I'll be on my way now. Both ways, you win. All right, what's another mistake people make when they're trying to create the offer that they love? They forget to set proper boundaries around availability to respond to questions, concerns, and challenges. I'll never forget the time that I was teaching my Broadcast Your Brilliance bootcamp a number of years ago at a much lower tuition. And I think I had 60 or 70 people enrolled in the course. And we had live calls, and then we had office hours, and then we had a forum similar to a Facebook group where people could ask for feedback on their message and on their pitching and on their other elements that would be so important for them to be able to broadcast their brilliance in a much bigger way. And I remember this so distinctly that a woman posted her bio that she wanted me to review at 2 a.m. Pacific time, which here in where I live is sleep time. And she was tapping her toe and wondering, why had I not responded to her? And she wrote me a complaint letter the following morning. I made my submission at 2 a.m. Pacific time, and it's already 6 a.m., still no reply. I'm really disappointed. And I thought to myself, wow, like, I'm a mere mortal just like everyone else. I sleep at regular intervals. How unrealistic was that for this person to expect that she would receive an instantaneous and thoughtful reply just because she used her finger to hit send? This person ended up becoming one of those bad apples in the group that every time I saw her name in an inbox, every time I saw her name in a post, I had my whole body kind of lock up, and I'm thinking, here she comes again, trying to make my life miserable. And what I realized, that the responsibility lied with me. I should have set proper boundaries and standards around what a client should expect when enrolling into my group program. You can expect me to respond to your posts in the Facebook group between Monday and Thursday between the hours of 9 and 3 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Thursday. If you post Thursday after hours, you'll have to wait until Monday to get a reply. I should have said that. And so for the subsequent trainings that I delivered, I learned to say that. When can you expect, how quickly should you expect to get a response? And how do you specifically make a request for support so that you get what you need in a timely manner so you can keep making progress? You as the course creator have a responsibility to set proper standards and boundaries so that you can serve your clients to the highest possible level, and your clients know what to expect, and they can honor and appreciate the availability that you've granted for them to get the support that you promised them. Set proper boundaries. I promise you, it will increase the value that people get from whatever it is that you offer. And it will make your life so much easier because you'll have fewer people making complaints about things that weren't promised in the program in the first place. Here's another big mistake people make. It is deciding to suffer more instead of serving at the highest possible level. Have you ever had a situation where you said, I'm going to suffer 3 more rounds of this training before I change it to be exactly what it should be? I'm going to suffer at a lower tuition until I prove it to myself and others that it's worth 3 times more. I'm going to suffer in whatever way that you have been, by believing that I'm not good enough, by believing you're not worthy, by believing that other people are better than you and getting lost in the comparison game. If you have found yourself in compare and despair, I'm going to suggest you do something that the TV psychologist Bob Newhart used to say, which is stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing it starting today. If you were to touch and transform more lives with your gifts That means owning your own value, being confident in the value that you bring, and recognizing that not everybody can make that step forward to invest at that level right now. I remember another story from one of my former clients when I ran a multiple six-figure public relations agency and worked with clients that had big stories to tell, stories that were big enough that Oprah would take notice. She ran a hot tub company. Her name was Alice Cunningham, and her company was Olympic Hot Tub Company. And if you've ever thought of buying a hot tub, you can probably go to a big box retailer and you can find one for a very affordable price. Or you can go to the county fair in your hometown during a summer fair, and they're wheeling and dealing about these hot tubs that will allow you to soak away your troubles in the comfort of your own backyard. Well, there's a whole audience of people that want to get a cheap hot tub on the quick. But at Olympic Hot Tub Company, they provide a really premium experience, not only before the sale, but during the sale and after the sale when it comes to maintaining your hot tub and keeping the water and all the systems running clean and providing that therapeutic, beautiful experience that you want to be able to treasure year after year after year. And so she would have people come into the showroom and say, "Hey, Alice, they're selling the hot tub at this county fair for XYZ dollars. I'll happily buy it from you if you just match the price." And she told me this story. She says she looked the guy straight in the eye and she took his hand and she said, "You know what? Olympic Hot Tub Company isn't for you. That's just not the way we do it. But thank you so much for asking. And if you'd like to have that premium experience that we provide before, during, and after the sale, we'd love to do business with you, but at the price point that we feel is fair." Here again, her confidence, her moxie, her belief in her own product, program, and service, it was so high that guy felt fine. He felt honored. He felt seen. He felt celebrated. But he didn't buy a hot tub at Olympic Hot Tub Company because you know what? The brand of Olympic Hot Tub Company was just not for him. So if you are swirling the drain with a low ticket offer and struggling with people that are stealing your energy instead of doing the hard work to be successful, then just start repelling those people because they're not your people. Believe enough what it is that you do and how you do it that you can command a fair price or a premium price for the powerful transformation that you're bringing about for your clients. Every single one of these mistakes that I'm talking about right now, at some point or another in my 20-year journey, I have made. And that is why I can say it with such confidence and such conviction and such humility. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and I don't want to play that game anymore. So I want to say that if you're building a program that you really want to put a stake in the ground around, I want you to do something or try something that I did when I first decided to bring about a more premium offering to my own market. I decided that I wanted to offer a get known, get paid private mentoring program. And I was going to work one-on-one with serious messengers who wanted to both get known and get paid and wanted the privilege of getting to work one-on-one with me. And so I know, and you likely know, that most coaching programs offer content, coaching, community, accountability, celebration, recognition. These are some of the elements that go into a premium program. Well, what I did was I thought I want to include all of those elements, but I also want to create a program that I love so much that my confidence is going to soar big time. So here's what I did, and I'm not kidding. I took a yellow sheet of paper, just like this, and on the left-hand side, I wrote cake. And on the right-hand side, I wrote cringe. And I thought to myself, of the serious investments I have made in my business over the last number of years, which programs did I love the most and what did I love about them? And I wrote all those things that I loved about them on the side of the piece of paper that said cake. And on the other side of the paper that said cringe, I wrote all the things about these programs that made me cringe. For example, if you're a new entrepreneur and you get on a mastermind call and you say, I have a bright idea that I think could be a game changer, can I talk it out with the members of the group? And then 3 weeks later, someone else in the group liked your idea so much that they ran away with it and took it as their own. I hate that. That's cringe. Another cringe is, why do I have to wait 2 hours to get a question answered when if I was working privately with someone, I could get an answer instantaneously? Bottom line is I had a whole long line of cake and I had a whole long list of cringe. And I decided that my private mentoring program was going to be the antidote to everything I disliked about any prior program I'd ever invested into in my life. And when I wrote it out, I had so much conviction around it that it flowed out of me like music. And then when it was done and I looked at it, I asked myself, would I personally invest 10 times the tuition to participate in a program like that to get my problem solved? And my answer was, yes, I wish I had been presented with an opportunity described in just this way, and I would have paid 10 times the price to solve the problems that took me so long to address with every other program I cobbled together with whatever investments that I made. So here's the best part of that story. You've probably been on teleclasses and webinars where there's this big long masterclass, and then there's this transition to the offer. And then you start to feel that uncomfortableness, and then you go, here comes the pitch, and then you start to get really uncomfortable. And you know what that's like. I thought, I don't want to do it like that. So what I did is I invited one of my best colleagues to interview me in a very cool way, where he asked me my journey and how it served my clients and what I'd learned along the path and la, la, la. And when it came time to the minute 55, he says, well, what's next, Nancy? And I said, you know, we've had a really juicy conversation. I'm hoping that everyone who's been listening has gotten huge value and huge insights and has gotten to know me pretty well just by the stories that I've told and the success that I've achieved. If you believe that I am the kind of teacher that could support you in getting where you want to go, this is my phone number. This is my email address. Give me a call. Let's get it going on. And you know what? 10 people said yes to my 5-figure offer. And it was a 5-minute offer that happened at the tail end of a call that was all of the help and none of the hype. It worked for me. And why did it work for me? Because my conviction in the offer that I had created was so high. I knew that if that same solution had been presented to me when I was suffering from those problems, I would have invested 10 times the tuition to have the benefit of that program. And I felt so strongly about it. And I knew that if I had 10 amazing clients say yes to it, I will want to get out of bed every morning on the sunny side of the bed. And I couldn't wait to get to my desk and get on the phone and work with these people and support them in the way that they expect, in a world-class way where they were the center of my attention. I loved the program. I loved the results my clients got from the program. And when the program was over, most people decided to renew with me. And then when I had done everything I could to support them, we became friends for life. It wasn't a transaction. It was a relationship. All this is to say that if you want to love what you are doing, create a cake list, create a cringe list, and be the antidote to everything that you dislike and the solution that your people are searching for right now. I promise you, your own confidence and conviction will grow in leaps and bounds as you get a chance to share it with people, and people will beat a path to your door. So that brings me sort of full circle to where I am right now. When I first brought my first high value, high tuition program to market, I did it in a long form conversation with a colleague where there was mutual respect, and there was also an audience of people eagerly listening. What do you know? The right people felt called to work with me. Those long form conversations are exactly what happens for me every day when I podcast guest on the shows of other people. I get the opportunity to tell these kinds of stories and share my heart and share my conviction and let people know the problems that I solve. And what do you know, when the shows are over, the host always says, tell me, how can our audience take another step in your direction? In which case I am quick to be able to say, I'm leading the Podcast Visibility Live Lab coming up very shortly. And if you want to be a part of it and take your front row virtual seat, I will show you the way to use a long form conversation to build an unending flow of leads, conversations, connections, collaborations, and cash. I would love to have you a part of it. And if you want to know what the link is, I'm sure Bryan will post it in the chat or the show notes so you can go. But if you can't find that and you want to know what it is right now, just go to podcastvisibilitylivelab.com and jump on over and see if I'm the person to teach you how to do this thing that is in my wheelhouse to share, where only the right people get to get behind the velvet rope to have the benefit of the expertise and the personal attention and the accountability that I provide so that you can get the results that you most desire. So there are many, many ways to put your heart into your offer. Make sure you're solving a real specific problem in a way that only that you can, and that you have the confidence, the conviction, and the enthusiasm to blow it out of the water for every single client, and that you've applied a fair tuition for the exchange of value, that you found a way to set boundaries to keep the wrong people out so the right people are in, and that you're not going to suffer anymore doing something that you hate just because some guru told you that that was the only way. I think if there was one more thing I would share that would be a really important thing for everyone to do, is whether you're waiting for your book to get done or whether you're just creating your course and you don't yet have an audience of people to buy it, always be building your audience. Build an audience for your work even before the course is done, even before the book is done, even before that premium program has ink already dried to demonstrate how awesome it is. Because no matter how much time you spend developing the program, et cetera, if there aren't people already listening to you and paying attention to you and belling up the bar to sit at the feet of your brilliance, it's really hard to sell something where you have no audience. So build your audience every day. Do that through podcast guesting. Do that by offering irresistible lead magnets that your ideal client can't wait to rush to get. Do that by being brilliant every time you're invited to speak up on a training like this. The right people will come running in your direction and the wrong people will run in the opposite direction. And that is essentially what good marketing is. You bring in more of the right people and you repel the people that don't fit. And what happens for you? You get to spend your time doing that thing that you do in your brilliant way, where people get the promises that you made accomplished, and they become your advocates, champions, and ambassadors so that their friends can become your future clients. I love what I do every single day. I wake up on the sunny side of the bed and say, I can't wait to play. Where's my next Broadcast Your Brilliance boot camper? And how can we get my velvet boot of accountability to kick your excuses and your BUTSs to the curb so that you are speaking up on the right stages, making connections with the right people, smiling all the way to the bank, and knowing that you just had the best day of your life because you got to do that thing that only you know how to do better than anyone else, and the right people are running in your direction. So I hope that this has been valuable, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that Bryan wants to ask me. And I'm Nancy Juetten. I am the Get Known, Get Paid mentor. I'm the Amazon #1 best-selling author of the Bye Bye Boring Bio workbook. And I am the leader of the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group. If you love this training, come on over to getknowngetpaid.com/group. Answer 3 simple questions about why you belong in the group, and I'll see you on the other side. I'm Nancy Juetten. It's been my pleasure.
Bravo. Bravo, Nancy. That was a true masterclass. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's the capper for my 5-day. I knew you would crush it. Yes, the capper. Unbelievable stuff. We do have one question, and I have a question of my own. So it's sort of an introspective kind of question. So I'm gonna let you take it here. It says from Mary, when did you know that it was time to turn your content into a business?
Thank you, Mary Denise Mitchell, for that very powerful question. I'm going to give you a very powerful answer. I used to be a publicist standing behind really powerful people with big names like the Wizard of Oz, making them look big in the media. And they were looking so big in the media that I kept on attracting more clients that wanted me to do the same thing. But what was happening for me is I started to feel publicity envy, because the work I was doing for my clients was getting them seen, heard, celebrated, and compensated. And yet when I did a Google search for my own name way back when, the only thing that came back for me was I ran 10K races really slowly. I had no name. I was so busy promoting other people that nobody even knew my name. And I thought, if I'm so good at this, everybody else is succeeding and I'm still invisible. And so I think it was publicity envy that made me do it. I thought, how can I build a brand for myself and get known as the get known, get paid mentor who has powerful strategies and tactics that I am brilliant at teaching other people to deploy? And so I started doing it one interview at a time, one workshop at a time, one this, that, or the other at the time. And the thing that really did, this is what really did it for me. And this, I haven't really talked about this a lot, but I'm going to tell you the answer. I knew I wanted to build this thing and get known, have my own celebrity star. But at the same time, I was making money doing all this stuff for these other important people. And you know how we were talking about cake and cringe? The trouble with doing done-for-you publicity for other people is it's not scalable. And the more clients you get, the less time you have to breathe, because there's never any end to the work that needs to be done that's custom for everybody. And I was telling my coach that I was so frustrated bridging both worlds. I didn't know how much longer I could do it. And he said, we were in a little conference room and there was a little powder room off to the side. And he went into the powder room and he brought out the toilet paper and he gave me a Sharpie. And he said, what do you really want to have happen? And I wrote with the Sharpie on the toilet paper, I said, the done-for-you publicist has left the building. Like I wrote it out. And then I felt like this lightning bolt hit me. Like I thought, oh my God, I said it out loud. I felt so free. And then he looked at me and he says, this seems really important to you. And I said, yeah, it really does. He says, well, walk with me. So we walked in the powder room and he says, bring your message. And he says, roll up that toilet paper into a ball and throw it in the basin and let's flush. And the done-for-you publicist left the building and swirled down the drain. And I went and bought myself a bottle of wine. And I said, that was it. That was my now or never moment. I just needed to double down and decide that now was my time. And I was ready to go. And I went. And that was it. You will have a moment where doing that thing that you were doing before is no longer tolerable for you. And if you just make the leap and do what it takes, you will be doing more of what you love and less of what you hate. And that's really what this challenge is all about, having offers that you love, that people want to invest into to get the benefit or relief at your brilliance. So I hope you find that inspiring. If you need a follow-up question, bring it on.
That's amazing. Amazing. I love that answer. And I just have one answer of just a question of my own. Do you have any like no-brainer examples of like a premium feature for your offers that you think like this has to be in it for people to really dive in, really say like, oh, this, I need this because this, is there like a constant thing that you put into your offers that says, boom, this will definitely grab them even more for your offer?
I have an idea that has worked really, really well for me that can work for you too.
Okay.
When you are enrolling people into your program, whatever it is, listen for the objections. I'm bridging other programs right now and don't have time for yours. That's one. Another could be, this sounds like a lot of work. I don't have the bandwidth to do it all myself. Okay, so let's take that one on. I heard that one a lot with the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp. And I thought to myself, what could I do to address that objection and make it a benefit? And so I said, as a busy executive and service professional who's got many plates to spin, could it be that you really want to get seen, heard, and celebrated on podcasts, but the work involved feels like too much for you to do by yourself? Then everybody's saying yes, right? Then I'll say, what if I allowed you to bring your virtual assistant or your dedicated marketing assistant along as your sidekick throughout the entire training so you could divide and conquer and accomplish magnificent things together for no additional tuition? Would that address your objection? And that was a really huge thing to offer, but it addressed the objection to the point that I think 30% of my people joined just when they heard about that benefit. Yeah. The other thing I heard is, oh, I'm traveling this summer. I'm seeing my family. I'm cruising. COVID restrictions have finally allowed me to get out of my house. I don't want to be on my computer all the time. Can I do this in September? And I'd said, that was an objection. Timing was the objection. And I thought to myself, what could I do to address that objection? And so I addressed it using the same words that they were saying. Could it be that you're traveling and you're seeing the kids and you're in a room with real people without a mask and you're happy about it, and doing a lot of this right now doesn't feel right for you? And everybody's going, yeah. And I'll say, well, here's the thing. If you do nothing this summer, some of these podcasts have long lead times and you're not going to be on the air until January. And how is that going to help you get more money now or more leads now? So I said, here's the way I'm going to address that objection. Come on in July, whenever we started, June, I think, and I'll bonus you the next 12-week session for the same tuition so that you can gear up and take off. Does that make this feel more doable? And a lot of them said, this makes it feel more doable. I'm still showing up for these calls. I love doing the calls. I'm really good at it. So the big idea that I'm demonstrating here is listen carefully for the objection. And then ask yourself, what kind of a bonus can you create? Or what kind of a benefit can you describe that not only addresses that objection, but makes your program uncommon and preferred because you offer that? If you listen for the objections, you're going to find out how you can rise up to meet people where they are, and they're going to say yes to you far more readily than they have been up until now.
Perfect. That's perfect. I love all of that. Thank you so much. That has been great. Nancy, you killed it. You killed it. You killed it. You killed it. What a great way to start the week. We got about, I think we got like 10 more people coming throughout this week, but you definitely took us on a whole new level. It's a high bar already. It's already a high bar.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be asked to contribute to this. Yeah. And I look forward to crossing paths with all of your folks that get access to this training. And getknowngetpaid.com/group is where you can see the action. I do a live show every Monday where you can learn more to earn more. Either I'm delivering the content or I bring in a subject matter expert that will add to that conversation. But if you've loved my energy today, it's just this on steroids every Monday at 1 o'clock in the Facebook group. So it's free to join. Just be sure to make sure you're the right fit so that I can rise up to meet you and serve you in the best way that I can.
Great stuff. We are good. We are good for today. We'll see you tomorrow. We got Elizabeth Pampalone coming in tomorrow. She's going to be amazing, talking about social content and personal branding and all that kind of thing. And we have so many people coming through. It's just amazing. But thank you so much, Nancy, for kicking it off. You are brilliant. And please go check her out. All of her URLs, we'll post that everywhere to make sure that you will not forget and make sure that you click onto her links. All right. Take care. Have a great day. And we'll continue on to day 10. All right.
Perfect.
Bye bye.
Thank you.